Atlas in the hot seat tonight.
And Atlas.
Goes by the name of Atlas the Bookkeeper. How you feeling, my friend?
So, folks, we have been talking this last week about if I should try Dragon Age Veilguard, correct? Now, already we found out that if I'm going to get it, there's a big discounted way to do it on PC where you join the EA Play Plus or Platinum or Golden subscription, and you basically can get it for $17 a month, right? And if I do play Veilguard, that's definitely how I'm going to do it. I'm going to basically get the subscription. I'm not going to pay $70 plus tax or anything like that, okay? But the question is, should I play it? Everyone knows the game is going to be incredibly long, a big time investment. And everywhere I go, I see different opinions on this game. Some people say the gameplay is actually quite good, but the story is not that good. Some people say the gameplay is too watered down and more like an action game, so it's not that good. Some people say it's not good at all in any way, shape, or form. And it's like, huh? So what do you believe, right? So one of the topics that definitely has been discussed is the level of wokeness in the game. All right. Now, as I've explained, I don't mind having these kind of left-leaning liberal themes in video games. That's okay, as long as it's in line with the game and the universe and it makes sense. Playing Life is Strange, you expect it's going to be in it, right? Today I'm playing Life is Strange Double Exposure. I expect that there's going to be themes that Max, the main character, likes girls and maybe has a relationship with one. And I'm not going to sit there and bitch about it because that's part of the universe. That's part of the writing of the character. It just makes sense, okay? But for me, where I'm finding lots of issue in the modern day is when you have a game universe that previously was one thing or known to be one way, and now because they want to be in line with the times and what's hip and what's popular, and they want to have a social narrative so they can not just be a video game, but also be like, oh, we're so important to everyone out in culture now, that then they try to interject this kind of stuff into their game universe, all right? So here's the deal. We've been talking about this recently, and I told you guys it doesn't really bother me as long as it's done tastefully. So someone sent me this clip and said, Phil, here's what you got to do. All right, you ready? The Veilguard Woke Challenge. This clip, it's about 2 minutes long. Supposedly this clip is the most cringe-worthy, worst part of Dragon Age Veilguard. All right? Like over the top, way forced down your throat, way poorly done, gonna make you vomit and cringe levels of crap. And they said, if you can stomach this, if you can watch this and you can survive it, and you can get through it, then you can play Veilguard. But if you watch this and that's it, and you can't take it, don't play the game. This is it. So, folks, spoiler alert, right here live on the show, we're about to do this together, all right? We're about to do this. If you're not interested, wait a few minutes and come back, okay? So, here we go. This is it. Now, to give you some background, I already know about this because this has been talked about on social media. The character on the far right is trans, okay? Basically kind of like either gender fluid, or I guess they were born one gender and now they're another gender or whatever. I don't care. Like, who cares, right? I really don't give a shit. That doesn't offend me. But apparently this scene is so poorly done that people saw it and said, I will never play Dragon Age ever again. All right? So we're going to do it. I'm going to do the challenge. We're going to see what happens. This will be interesting, okay? All right, are we ready? All right, hold on. Let me make sure I got my volume up here. I want to be able to hear it. Okay, we ready? In 3, 2, 1. Oh, I can't press spacebar. I have to press play.
Pounding that snake's nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
what are you doing?
Pulling a bar.
Hold on. I think we should watch from the beginning again because the volume was low. I want to watch the whole thing from start to finish. I'm putting up the volume now. I just want to watch the whole thing from start to finish to try to understand the context, and then we'll go from there. Okay? I was watching again because I missed the beginning.
Pounding that snake's nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
what are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay. A barb?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a Barv. Oh, there we go.
I'm glad the Lords of Fortune have Tarsh's back.
Oh, Tarsh isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours. Huh. Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants. And out of them, too.
Any reason you can't just apologise?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling a barf, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay, yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barf puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
So, okay. I just want to understand the context, because there's a lot of context here. If you guys don't know, do you know who that character is? That's Isabella. Isabella is a character who's previously been in 2 Dragon Age games. She was in 2 and 3. Dragon Age 2 and the Dragon Age Inquisition, correct? So if you don't know who she is, her character previously in games, in this series, okay, is she was supposed to be like almost like a pirate, kind of, or a bandit, like a thief, you know, like she would, from the shadows, come and get you from behind. That was her class. What do they call that? A rogue? Rogue, right? But her character is that she's completely brazen, crass, swears like a sailor, right? Over the top, and always like sexual content. Like everything out of her mouth is like a sexual comment. I mean, there's even one of my funniest moments of, I remember the year when Dragon Age 2 came out, is out of nowhere, she talks to a character about wanting to sleep with them, and then everyone walks off camera and apparently has like a menage a trois off camera. And then they just come right back like nothing ever happened. So that's like her running character in the game. She's over the top, brazen, over-sexualized character, meant to be that way. But she kind of talks like a dude almost, right? Like a bro almost. Like that's how she is, okay? That's how her character has always been in the games, all right, in the past. Literally this clip, now I'm not even talking about the context of anything that just happened in the clip with the character being trans or anything. What just happened doesn't even make sense. So she's talking and she accidentally uses the wrong pronoun. She decides she wants to make up for it by walking and doing 10 push-ups, and she calls it a barf, right? They ask her what the hell she's doing. She explains this is the way in their clan that they basically make up for mistakes, because it's quick, easy, gets to the point, and moves on, right? But if you know the character from the previous games, that doesn't even fit the character. For her, they'd be like, oh, you used the wrong pronoun. She'd be like, go fuck yourself. Like, that's her character. She'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Fuck you. Right? Like that, she's brazen, she's brash, she does what she wants. She's not worrying about offending everyone around her. In fact, she purposely kind of goes out of her way to offend the people around her. That's her character. So right off the bat, the writing of the character is completely incorrect. It's like they're rewriting the character for this new game to be something different to serve the purposes of their narrative. Okay? So, number one, this doesn't even make sense. She's not even in character in the scene. All right? That's number one. That's only issue number one. Okay? Number two. So, you use the wrong pronoun, so now you need to apologize for it. Okay? So she goes and does 10 push-ups, and then that's it. And then it's over. And they say, well, I don't get it. You didn't really say you were sorry. You just did 10 push-ups. How is that an apology? Oh, you see, because if you apologize, number one, it could be disingenuous and you're just trying to get the whole thing over. So doing a verbal apology doesn't show sacrifice, right? Number two, some people will make it more about them. That if they try to apologize with words, they'll say something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to. I'm bad at this, and I do this a lot, and I'm sorry." And then people feel bad for them because they feel like the one that's socially awkward because they're in a situation that they're not adjusted to, right? Maybe they're not around people who are trans or non-binary a lot, and so they're confused about how to do it. And so now, oh, feel bad for them because they're actually the one that's awkward in this situation, right? So just do 10 push-ups. But the funny part about all that is, think about this for a second, because I don't know if anyone has thought about it this way yet, okay? The point is, to apologize verbally isn't enough. It's never enough. You got to go the extra mile to apologize to someone because you used the wrong pronoun, correct? Because it shows if you do 10 push-ups that you're actually caring. At the same time, though, I want you to think about this. You are basically doing it in a way that you feel yourself is good enough. But what about the person who you actually offended, right? Let's say this is a person sitting next to you you don't know, and you use the wrong pronoun and you offended them. Okay, well, the way we do it is we do 10 push-ups. That person might be like, I don't care if you do 10 push-ups. Apologize to me. You used the wrong pronoun, and now I'm upset with you, right? So what this situation is trying to do is saying no kind of apology is good enough. You have to do some kind of a personal self-sacrifice in a situation where you misgender someone. But the writers are so fucking dumb. They don't understand that what they're actually saying is you don't go the actual step to even talk to the person and say, hey, I'm sorry. Here's in my opinion, this is my opinion, here's how this should have went. She uses the wrong pronoun. She turns to the person and says, oh, crap, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? And if the person says, nah, it's fine, then that's fine. But if the person's like, well, it would be nice if you could do this or this, and then you want to do that to make up for it, then you do it. Then at least you're putting the power into the hand of the person that you've insulted, right? Or you've done wrong. They can determine what the appropriate action is to make the situation right. What Isabella did in this situation, she just assumed the best thing to do is what she thinks is the best thing to do, which is the whole point of the scene, is to say, don't do that. You have to go the extra mile to make sure the person is okay. But you didn't do that. You just assumed they wanted you to do push-ups. So even the writing is wrong. The writing that they have in this scene is fucking incorrect. Right? That's true too. Super Bonchan says, and it also shows kind of ironically in this situation that it's not a big deal because it's just 10 push-ups, which is nothing. That's the way you make up for it. That shouldn't be a big deal, right? Yet they're trying to say that it should be a big deal. So basically everything here is misdone. So even in a scene where they specifically tried to do this in a way that they felt was right, and that maybe to a lay person who doesn't understand the whole deal with non-binary people and the pronouns issue, they're trying to do it in a way that, oh, let's introduce this to a new group of gamers. Maybe now they'll get it. They did a fucking awful job. They completely misexplained it. Because now people will think, well, I could just fucking blow it off in any way I want, and that's fine. As long as it's okay with me, I think 10 push-ups is good, so that's what I'm going to do, right? No. In my opinion is, hey, you offended someone. You didn't even realize you were offending them. You say, oh, I'm sorry I offended you. I swear I didn't mean to. How do I make it up to you? And if they say, don't worry about it, then that's no big deal. If they say, well, you could do this or that, then listen to them and judge if you actually want to make up for it or not. But don't put it on you, oh, I just assume this is the right way to do it, and then you do it. Or else you miss the point of the scene, right? So even the fucking writers don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're complete idiots, all right? But then on top of all of this, okay, the thing that really gets me about the scene, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware, you know what the actual point of this game is? You know what the plot is? Dimensional rifts are opening. The veil is opening. 2 elven gods or something are coming through with armies of forces to take over reality and kill everything and control everything. That's the plot of the game. You're the Veilguard. You're the last force to stop the invasion of reality from creatures from the Veil. What are you busy doing in the game? Sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya, talking about people who are non-binary and their pronouns and how to properly make up for them if you offend them. By the way, at this very moment, there's probably demons at the door slaughtering thousands of people and are going to burst in at any moment to kill all of you, but you have time for this conversation. What the fuck is going on? So, do you see the point? Dragon Age is supposed to be dark fantasy. Dark fantasy. That's the point of the whole universe. It's always been that way, right? It's adult-oriented, it's gory, it's crass, there's sexual content, there's brutal content. All of that's always been in Dragon Age. It's been a part of it, right? Yes, there have been silly scenes where you're at your campfire and they have relationship dialogue and stuff like that. I get that, all right? But now you've pushed it to the point of absurdity. Do you really think that in a situation, it's a life or death struggle, the universe is at stake, people care about what they're fucking called? Guess what? I wouldn't call if you called me shit stain. Why would I care? Let's go kill the demons, right? But no, they actually go out of their way to break the immersion of the game's plot to interject these topics. This is piss poor writing at its worst. You can't get any worse than that. To completely take me out of the situation of fantasy to put a real life issue now in my face, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, how many people do you think will be buying Dragon Age Veilguard to think about real life issues? It's a game about monsters and magic and different mythical races. I don't care about real life. This would be like, you're in the game and they sit down at the campfire to talk about if they're going to vote for Trump or Kamala. The fuck is that? Why is that in my game? That I'm supposed to be escaping reality to play a fantasy video game. This is not a hyper-realistic game that should have realistic topics. This should be I'm escaping all of that drama to play a fun game and suspend my disbelief. You shouldn't be shoving the real world shit down my throat. When I play Life is Strange and the main character is gay, you know, Max, she has relationships with girls, then you expect it. And you're dumb if you play Life is Strange and you sit there and you complain about themes like that. But if I'm playing fucking Dragon Age Veilguard and all of a sudden there's a scene like this, it's like, what the fuck am I playing? And on top of all of that, ladies and gentlemen, to push the narrative, they've ruined a character. Isabella is a character who's already known from the franchise. She has an established character, an established way she acts and talks. They changed the character to have a scene to push this narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, they've pulled a Neil Druckmann. This is exactly what happened in The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 has great graphics, great sneaking mechanics that are improved from the first game, great level design. Like, there's a million things good about Last of Us 2, some of the best accessibility of any video game ever. But does anyone ever talk about that? No. All anyone talks about with The Last of Us 2 are the liberal themes because that's what Neil Druckmann made the game about, and it became a big sales success because of it. So that is why these themes are in Dragon Age Veilguard. Make no mistake about it. It's not because they think it improves the game or this is a chance to teach a lesson. This is because they want people to be talking about the controversy around the game, and they want to be another part of that. They want this to be the next, oh, I bought Veilguard because I heard there's a trans character in it, there's a non-binary character in it, and there's representation in it. That's not a fucking reason to buy the game. You buy the game because it's fun, because it's got a good story. It's got good graphics, good gameplay mechanics. Not because they wedged in a social aspect, a social hot topic, right? It's lame, it's cheap, it's lowbrow. Quite frankly, it's fucking embarrassing, and it's actually insulting. If you are someone who thinks that this is an important issue, you should be insulted because that's not what the game is about. They shoehorned it in to try to get you to buy the game. They think you're dumb. That's why it's in Dragon Age Veilguard. Not because they're trying to say, oh, we're going to represent properly or whatever. Even look at the scene. They did it wrong. The scene says, disregard the thoughts of the person that you insulted and just do 10 push-ups because that's the best thing to do. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm sorry I offended you, kid. Something I can do to help you or to make up for it because I really goofed. Which is like the common sense thing to do, right? But no, that's not good enough, right? So even the way they did it was wrong, right? So this is fucked up. And this is something that I think we're going to see more and more game studios do unless people call it out. Now, is this scene a deal breaker for me? No. And especially now that I know that the game is going to have dumb scenes like this, right? I feel like you could just kind of like say, well, you know what they were going for? Pretty lame. And, you know, it is what it is, cringeworthy, over-the-top nonsense. But, hey, they went for whoever these management are, a bunch of idiots. But the truth is, this makes me feel worried about this studio. Like, BioWare now, they made a big announcement yesterday on social media. We are fully 100% committed. We're now working on Mass Effect 5. That's our next focus. Do you think I'm excited? Right? Like, I see this clip, and I'm like, so you know that when you play these games, they're always going to have these out-of-place, interjected social issues, immersion breaking, pushing a narrative, buy our game because we're controversial. This is crap. It's not good writing. It's not proving a point. It's not helping. Do you really think having that scene in the game is going to help anyone who is non-binary? Is that real? Wow. That really helped them, right? No. This is self-serving. That's all that clip is self-serving. It's 2 minutes of, hey, look at us. We put it in the game. Now give us credit. Send us all the feel-good vibe buys like Last of Us 2 got. It's lame. It's fucking lame. If the game was all about that, if it was a main theme of the game, Life is Strange, it is a theme of the game. The main character is, you know, gay. There's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I have no issue with it. It's part of the writing of the game. It's done naturally. It's fun. That's done well. I applaud that. But when you wedge it the fuck in like that, it looks like shit. It looks like you don't care. And you're botching it. You're dropping the ball. You're embarrassing yourself and everyone around you who wants to actually make people feel welcome. You're an idiot, and you're doing it for profits, and that's the worst reason to do it. So looking at that scene, I'm not upset that it's in the game. I'm upset that it's done so fucking poorly. They absolutely could have done a better job than that, and it's pretty disgraceful because sadly what's going to happen is that you're going to see more and more of this. If this gets traction and people see it and say, oh, wow, look, more game devs might try to wedge in more shit. You really want every game to be like, well, you should be this leaning politically and this leaning. You should care about this social issue or this social issue. Dude, all I want to do is stomp on fucking Goombas. That's it. I want to shoot the enemy. I want to stomp the enemy. I want to solve the puzzle. I want to open the chest. I want to save the princess or prince. Whatever is your fucking spin today, I don't care. Just leave me alone and let me play my fucking video games. Stop ruining them with your agendas and your bullshit because you're greedy and you want to make money on it. Because that's all it is. You don't care about what you're trying to do. You just want to make an extra dollar, and I'm tired of your shit.